Hello, this is Grandma Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and I'm continuing my journey learning to collage, and I'm trying all different kinds of things. And today I'm going to try what I'm terming a vignette collage. And I haven't looked up the word, but in my mind, vignette has always been like a little picture of something. It can be flowers, it can be just little pretties, it can be anything that is a little picture. We tend to do that in photography. We'll go around the house and gather up all pretty little things and make what we call a still life and photograph it. So I've tried that in collaging. I have a picture that is a shelf. It's in an old ranch house where cowboys live and family lives. And there's a shelf in this ranch house that has a picture on it. And beside the picture is several just odds and ends of things. And that's what this vignette is. Now, I got my main focus out of this book. And it doesn't look like what it looked like in here because I kind of cut it up. But it was the cutest little giraffe. Now, I cut his ears off because I need to do something with his ears, so he definitely doesn't look the same. But I found this cute little giraffe in here, and I thought, well, he was cut off like this. It wasn't a whole giraffe. What could I do with him? And I tried several papers behind him, and nothing suited. I tried jungle theme, which was cute, but just didn't do it. So I decided that he should be in a picture frame because we don't have the whole giraffe. So we're going to make a picture frame around him that is sitting on a shelf that has cute things on the other side of the shelf. So, are you ready? I'm learning on this one. I'm trying. I'll admit, now I have taken my little images. I've cut them out because it takes me a long time to fussy cut. And I've already inked the edges with Distress Ink Vintage Photo. Because it takes that white edge that's left when we cut images that are on white paper, and it kind of blends it into the image so it doesn't show so much. So I've already done that to my giraffe and to the images that I'm putting over here. I have also pasted down my background. Now, since this is an old ranch house, I looked for some scrapbooking paper that looked like old-fashioned wallpaper. And that's what this is to stand for, old-fashioned wallpaper. And this is a double spread. And what I did, I have learned the hard way. When you do a double spread in a book, don't cut your paper where the pages meet. I came clear over here and cut my paper and then added a piece on here. Now, in my picture, this is going to be covered up, so the seam doesn't show. But it doesn't show near as much this way as it did when I cut it and met here, because I always had a little bit of that valley showing. Now, I would work at it till it looked pretty good, but I really like the way it looks by crossing over. So if you do a double spread, you don't have to come over this far. You could come over and stop about here, and then make your other piece of paper meet. Or cross over and come here, and it will look so much better. That's one thing I've learned just from doing, and I think I'll be learning a lot of things just from doing. So, let's start. The first thing I want to put on here is my shelf. And, you know, I was lucky. I had scrapbooking paper that looked like wood. It had all kinds of things on it, flowers and checkerboards and all sorts of things, but there was parts of the wood that showed just like wood. And I think if you look through your scrapbooking papers, you'll find some like that. I've found several, actually, that have a wood background. And they'll also have like brick backgrounds, and those are great for collages. So I took my scrapbooking paper and cut pieces of wood out of it. So these are my shelves at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing where I glue that on. I'm going to come past the middle of my pages and go like that. So I won't have that little gap that you always have down here. So the first thing I need to do is glue these down. So let's move my giraffe for now. Keep him nice and safe. You're probably wondering why I cut his ears off. I cut his ears off because he's going to wear a cowboy hat. We need to put this one down first since it's coming over. I even marked which side I should put it on because I'm a grandma, and you know by now I have a short memory. So, let's go. And I have also found that one of these stovetop scrapers works great for things like pushing paper down into a, well, where the pages meet, there's a little dip, a valley. This will press it down so well. Now, there we go. Let's get this piece glued. All right. Now I want to match these edges on these pieces of wood, and I think this is the way that it matches. Yes, it is. Just like that. There we go. Now, because this is a shelf, I wanted a brown edge along here that shows the edge of the shelf. So, I cut me some cardstock that will make just a brown edge along here. So, let's get that down. Let's get this one covered. doesn't want to stick today. This cardstock is very heavy paper. Let's get this other piece. Be sure an edge is just the right size here. One of them is better than the other, I think. And this edge, let's trim a little bit off of here. Okay, let's glue this down. So we've got our wall and we've got our shelf. Now, we have to make a frame to have a picture in. And I thought about gluing it off page, but then I also, that was going to be messy. So I made some little marks where the edge of my frame goes, and I hope I get it right. Now, my giraffe's picture is going to be on a nice sunny day. So we have sky that needs to be in the picture. And that's going to go right here behind my frame. So I'm going to glue that next. I ran out of my big fat stick glue and had to order some, and it hasn't come yet. So I'm having to use the thinner sticks. Does that look pretty straight? I hope so. Now, whether this giraffe lived in Africa or where this ranch is, and the ranch is, maybe it's in South America, who knows? It could be a South American ranch. Since giraffes don't tend to live here in the States where I live, or maybe he just had a pet giraffe. Although I don't think people usually have pet giraffes. And you're going to see why he was a pet, because only a pet would put up with the cowboy hat that this guy wears. And he is so cute. All right, I need to lay out the frame. And I have more of that wood cut. This was the easiest wood to cut, much easier than real wood. Now I have 2 long pieces and 2 short pieces. My 2 long pieces go right here at the edges. Okay, like that. And I'm having this little dark edge on the inside where the shadow would fall, with the frame being, you know, how frames are. Like that. And then we'll put pieces across like this. Now I want to be sure these are going to meet right before I glue the bottom ones down, because it looks like they're a little wide. Over here, well, this one's about right. There we go. And it'll be like that. So we need to get that down. And I want to get it down somehow without going crooked. We'll see how well we can do. Let's get this one on next. Does that look pretty straight? I'm just going to lightly put it down in case I have to pull it up. And we'll get this one down. All right, I'm going to measure across with these and be sure I have them the right width. That seems to be good. Let's see if this bottom one is good. Yeah, I went crooked. Oops. There we go. See if this is still good. All right. Now, it may seem like these collages go together fairly quickly. You can make several in a day, and there are some collages you can do that on. But let me tell you, that's not the way it happens with these kind of collages. I imagine I have done probably about 4 or 5 hours off-camera work to get it to this stage. And it's hard to know what things I should show on camera, but I'm trying to eliminate things like cutting, choosing, that takes a long time, and hunting for images, and then cutting out, and then inking around my edges. All those take time. So I try to do that, and I also try to do the background, because the background has to be measured, and it takes space to do this background, and there's not too much space here between this and the camera. So a lot of work is done before you see this part. And this part is putting it together, which was really the exciting stage. It's a stage I love. All of it's fun. And I don't know what it will look like put together. And sometimes I change my mind while I'm filming and do things entirely different. So you never know when I start a video what it's really going to turn out like. But I do apologize that every step isn't shown. I tell you what I do, but it isn't shown just because I don't think you want to be here for 5 hours. A video that takes half an hour to an hour to watch will be 5 hours getting ready. Not all the time. Some of the more simple single-page spreads in smaller books don't take near as long, and I can get those done and videotaped and edited in a day. But these, no. So they're very time-consuming, but I love doing them. And just beware of that when you start doing that. You won't do one probably in 20 minutes. You may do one in several hours. And just slow down and enjoy the process. That's the idea. You need to enjoy it. Why do it if you don't enjoy it? And find a style that you like. I'm still searching for mine, although I'm finding that surreal, although it's very interesting and people are very good at it, I'm not very good at it. I've always been more of a realistic artist. So I'm hunting for a way to scratch that itch, but still have a style that makes me happy. And more realistic makes me happy. Although I have a giraffe in my picture that's wearing a cowboy hat, you really could put a cowboy hat on a giraffe if you wanted to. You might get killed in the process, but you could do it. So I'm not sure you can call this surreal, because I could have a picture like this and a bookshelf like this in a real ranch house. It's a possibility. Where some surreal art there's absolutely no way it could happen, and that's why it's called surreal. So I'm calling this, for the time being, Vignette collages. It's a picture of something that could possibly be real. Now, probably everything I do wouldn't. Some that I have in my mind, I don't know if it would be real or not, but we'll call it Vignette. Yeah, we matched. I have got to tuck the giraffe under this edge and something under this edge. Luckily, this doesn't stick down real quick. Let's get the giraffe and get him down. Now, I want to put this cactus in the background. I'll cut some of it off, since I wasn't paying attention and I was gabbing too much. Just like this. So let's do that. I should have shown you the giraffe before I cut his ears off. He was very cute. He's cute without his ears, so he's a cute giraffe. I think I got my sky from a scrapbooking piece of paper too. If you look, you can find all kinds of things in scrapbooking paper. All right, let's get this guy under here before it gets set. I'm thinking I want to be sure the hat fits. Where'd my hat go? There's my hat. Let's see. Be sure it fits in there. Yeah, he fits in there. So, okay. Let's get him glued. Be sure I have room for the sides of the hat. Yeah, it'll fit there. There we go. My cute little giraffe. There's so many ways you could have gone with this giraffe. Even a baby picture would have been cute with the giraffe, or a kid's picture. But you know what? My brain went this way. Now, these edges need to be up just a little bit to fit the hat under. Okay. This hat came out of this book. And I reviewed it on another video, and I will link to that video in case you would like to find this book. You can get all kinds of hats and boots and things out of this, which is really neat. I'm scalping a lot of men to get cowboy hats. So, let's get this on. Now, part of this needs to go behind, and part of it needs to go in front. There we go. Oops, let's get some more glue on there. Beautiful. Now, he had to have a fancy hat, so we put a flower on it. And as usual, Grandma forgot that there's ears that come out of this hat too. Here's his left ear and here's his right ear. So we are going to pull the edge up a little bit and get those ears on there. He can't go without his ears, can he? There's one ear down. Let's get this other one. I think I've done more pulling up of my glued pieces than I have sticking them down, haven't I? You won't be so forgetful when you do your pictures. There you go. And I'm going to take my ink and try to cover up this little tear that I made. That took care of it. And there'll be a little shadow here under the hat. Let's put some ink for that. There we go. Let's add some glue to this. Twice stuck down hat, huh? Now, I had a flower somewhere. I think I lost it. Oh, here it is. That we're going to put right there. Maybe this is a girl giraffe. And she's wearing a cowboy hat and wants to have a flower. Who knows? It's a giraffe. That's all we need to know. And I don't know if I want to use this or not, but I cut out a scarf to put around the giraffe's neck. And it hangs out down here, so I'll have to trim it. But I thought I would glue it on first. What do you think? And cutely, which you can't really do in real life, so maybe there's some surreal stuff. It's going to hang outside the frame. So let's get that glued on. I better leave the bottom part unglued. Let's see. There we go. Kind of a fancy bandana for a cowboy, but hey, it's a giraffe. And we need to cut this. Oops. Not too much of it. In that fact, it will fit on my page. I think I'll leave it. I'll just glue it all. There we go. Isn't he cute? Now, I think before I quit, I'm going to find me something to do, to put there to look like nails. But right now, let's go ahead and put some items on our shelf on the other side. There we go. I had several things I found from several books. So, I had a clock, and I noticed another picture, a collage that I did a clock in. I didn't put 12 up. Here's 12. I think this will go right here, but I'll be sure and leave enough room for some other things. And maybe this is not good. Forgive me if kids are watching this. There's going to be a bottle of happy juice there. And another little bottle that had happy juice in it. Let's see. I want to be sure and leave room for the other things. Here is a camera laying on its side. Oh, yeah, that's a good thing I left room. We'll scoot them over. Because whoever this is that owns this place likes to take pictures like this one. So the camera's there. And here's a vase that will sit back here. So it'll have to go in first. That will have this flower in it. And let's see, one more thing. Whoever here lives here also kind of likes baseball. And we're going to put a baseball down in the corner. What do you think of that? We can glue that in, and then we'll make some shadows of the images. So, where shall we start? Let's start with the clock. S 12 is up. There we go. And let's put our bottle of happy juice down here. Let's get the ball. Yeah, he likes to go out and play baseball. Somebody does. Whoever it is. It's a mystery. Whoops, I've got the ball setting off the shelf. We can't have that. Gotta come up here to the edge. There we go. Alright, this goes behind the camera, so we have to settle where the camera goes and put that down first. And I think about there, don't you? Yeah, I think so. But this flower, I have a slit in the top of this that the flower has to fit into. Like that. And so it has to avoid the clock. Something like that. What do you think? Will that do it? Sure it will. Yeah, I like that. So, let's turn the whole thing with the flower in it yet. If I can pick it up. And go like this. There. That was, I'm not sure, it might have been a perfume bottle picture, and it had a lid on it that I just cut the lid off so I could slit it and put the flower down in it. So look for images like that. You don't have to use the whole image, and you don't have to use them the way they're put together in your books. Cut them apart and use them in different ways. Now these little holes in the flowers I cut out with a craft knife like this. In fact, I cut out with this craft knife. These little spots like that. There. Now, I think we're ready to put the camera down. I don't want to put it in the bin, so we need to come over something like that. All right. And I had some holes in this to cut out, too. There we go. Now I need to find some, oh, I have forgotten this other little bottle, and I'm going to stick it right here. Yeah, that'll do. that helps to pull the blue in to match the blue in this side. There we go. Now I do want to put some shadows down here with my colored pencil. And I want to put some nails on here. So let me go hunt for nails. I'll be right back. Now I'm thinking maybe sequins would work as nails. I'm not sure, but let's see. If we have the right color of sequins, like a silver sequin or a gold sequin. It's a good idea to have a pair of tweezers around for this little work. One more should do it. There we go. Now you need a little glue that will hold a little stronger if you're going to do something like the sequins. So I use a liquid glue for that. And I'm thinking maybe a sequin at the center of that clock would be neat. A gold sequin, perhaps. So I see one right here. Let's see what that looks like. One right there. That's kind of neat. I like the sparkle there of a sequin in the center. Now, I think the only thing that's left is the shadows. And I'm just going to use a black Crayola colored pencil. And I'm just going to maybe put a little edge of shadow down here. Which way should the light be coming from? There's nothing that really says too much. I think maybe, yeah, it's coming this way. So we'll aim the shadows this way a little bit under the picture frame. Alright, that side's done. Now we need to do just a little bit of shadow. We won't do a lot of shadow work, but some. And this needed. And our happy juice and ball. There we go. Now, can you see anything we've missed? Maybe a teeny bit around the clock. Just a little bit. All right, I really like this. I'm not sure, again, what style you would call this. I'm going to call it a vignette style. It tells a story. It's in a ranch house. Someone that takes pictures and has a pet giraffe. or one that allowed them to put a hat on it and likes to play baseball. And he kind of likes to be happy too. So, maybe you can tell a whole different story with this. So, I want to throw out the challenge to you that you find a focal point, and then I probably use 3 or 4 books to find other pieces, plus scrapbooking paper. So find other pieces to go with it that will tell a story. Make a vignette collage and see how you feel about this. I think it has been really, really enjoyable to make this, and I'm going to try some more. I have some in mind, in fact, that I want to try. Well, before I put this away, I'm going to give it a light coat of Mod Podge to help all these things like the sequins and stuff to stay where they belong. You can use a sealer if you wish, and it doesn't have to be Mod Podge. You can use the one of your choice, but Mod Podge works well. And I hope you've really enjoyed this, and I hope it inspires you to try one yourself. So, bye-bye for now.